Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. We are so glad you're here with us today. We want you to know your soul is welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. We're going to sing about it.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at is welcome here. Oh, my soul, oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Thank you for sharing the platform with me today, Patty.
Praise you in the name of all that is good, all that is sacred, and all that is holy. And in this warm and loving energy of our spiritual community, Spiritual Life Center honors all people, worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know there is no space that God does not grace. If this is your first time joining us, online or on site, we especially welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. We are all here by divine appointment. Please silence your electronic devices and refrain from flash photography during the service.
And now as we take ourselves into this service and we allow the outside world to drop away for just a few moments, we know that we are called together through Spirit. Spirit speaks through us, lives through us, has its being through us, and then manifests out into the material world. And we give thanks for all of that, and we are grateful for the ability to come together, the ability to come together online, to be
People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God. We must take action.
And speaking of action, Patty?
That's perfect. Faith in Action starts next week. And make sure you sign up for your group because today's the last day. And let me say this, for some of you that don't know about it, our services on Sunday directly correspond to the Faith in Action reading and workbook. So it's really nice to join a group for lots of reasons. It's wonderful material to read, the friendship and the fellowship in the group itself, and then of course the Sunday lesson that corresponds with that. So I highly encourage you to sign up today if you haven't already, online or in the courtyard.
Thank you, Patty. Today, we invite you to a meeting that will explain what a charitable gift of real estate is, how it works, and how it can help SLC's mission to transform lives. The meeting is will be from 1 to 2:30 here on site, and I believe it's also on Zoom. And if you want to join by Zoom, please go in now and register for it. This is a really interesting thing that we're introducing, and so we invite you to come to that meeting. And then I believe Paula has gala info.
Well, I do. I just want to let you know that our gala celebration of you and us as a community is coming right up this Friday. September 30th from, social hour at 6 o'clock and the program at 7. We're preparing a lot of great music. We've got some slideshows celebrating you. And we would like you to get online or out to the hub and get your ticket. The folks that are preparing all that beautiful food, they would like to know by Wednesday how much to prepare. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, please do get it. We're going to have a lot of fun. Heather Estai is going to be our MC, and she always makes things very fun. And we're going to do some games and music and have a party. So you know we do that pretty well. So make sure you get your tickets this Friday, coming right up. See you there.
Oh, this coming Saturday, Reverend Donna Appadoni will again offer the special service of the blessing of the animals. She explains it best on our slide.
Donna Appadoni. Do you know what time it is? It's time for the annual Blessing of the Animals, and I'll perform a celebration that combines ancient traditions on Saturday, October 1st at 1 p.m. It won't be at Spiritual Life Center, it'll be online, because so many animals at one point or another in their lives don't want to travel. You know what else animals don't want to do? They don't want to sit still for very long. So it'll be a quick service. Don't be late. It'll start at 1 p.m. on October 1st. It'll be interfaith because animals tend not to follow a particular religion. It'll be all those things. Interfaith, on time, short, and on Zoom. We'll do a group prayer, and then I'll do individual blessings of the animals who come to visit on Zoom that day. October 1st, 1 p.m., on Zoom, the blessing of the animals. See you there.
And now we have our monthly youth update with our lovely Reverend Janee.
Thank you. Good morning. Oh, I bring a big warm hello from all of us in Youth Ed. It's good to see all of you this morning. We have a lot of shifting and changing happening in our Youth Ed program right now. Many of you know Michael Lawson, and for the last 7 years, Michael Lawson has run our YOU program. He's helped to build and shape our YOU program here, and there are so many teens that have been blessed by his presence and his deep commitment to giving our youth a sacred place to explore their spiritual beliefs. After a full summer of playing gigs with his band and teaching music and sailing, he has made the decision to step down as our YOU sponsor here at Spiritual Life Center. I can't even begin to tell you how much we are all going to miss him. But I know that he is living his love and his joy, and we are just grateful for all that he has done for us. Next Sunday, October the 2nd, we're going to honor Michael here during the service, so I hope that all of you will come and show your love and appreciation for him. We have 2 teens here at Spiritual Life Center who are officers in our West Central region. It's Kiki Crawford and Becky McPhee, and they meet 1 weekend a month with Mike Gomez, our regional director in Vacaville, and they are planning our fall rally, which will be November the 4th through the 6th. This fall rally is very unique because we have changed it to not only be for our teenagers, but to also be for our uniteens, ages 11 through 13. And our NGUers, we have all these acronyms, which is our next generation unity. So it's all of our YOUers who've graduated or are now in their 20s. They're going to be putting that program on for our younger kids. So their small group activities will all be separate, but our larger group activities where we sing and commune will all be together. So a newsletter will be going out this week with more information and a save the date for that. So please take a look if you're interested in that. These rallies are really life-changing for these kids. Another thing that our teens are involved in is they're going to be serving appetizers this Friday at the gala. And if you've been to gala before, you may know that our teens offer this service to our church every year, and they are wonderful at it. So if you're going to be at gala, we are going to be so happy to serve you. And so come say hello. And I also wanted to announce that my role here with Youth Ed is shifting a little bit. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stepping down, but I am stepping back a little bit. I'm still going to be here on Sundays, but I have had some big changes in my family over the last few months, which have just required a lot more attention and me being there, and it's really where I need to be right now. But in doing that, I just don't have the time and the bandwidth during the week to put together the program for Sundays that these kids really deserve. And so I am going to be here and be a presence, but we are advertising for a new youth ed director, which will be for our youth ed age children. And we are looking for someone who has experience with putting programs together for kids, someone who's grounded in our spiritual truths, of course, someone who loves our kids as much as we do. And so if you look into your heart and think that's something you're interested in, or if you know someone who is interested in that, please come and talk to me or Elaine or both of us. And if you want to serve our youth in any capacity, we would really love to speak with you. We have also hired another nursery person. His name is Christopher Acosta. He's been with us a few times, and he's wonderful. And we are hiring Anna as a permanent employee, and we will have Christopher here as an on-needed basis as we need him. So he's here today with our kids. If you have a minute to go by and meet him and say hello, please do that. And so I want to thank you all again for all the ways that you support our kids and all of us. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Janee, and thank you for modeling self-care. We know that you are doing the highest and best for yourself and for SLC. Thank you very so much.
And remember, we also have many activities, including small groups. To discover all the happenings at SLC is to go to our website. On site, you can peruse the bulletin board, and then you can go to the hub to sign up for any event, like the gala.
Well, our Board of Trustees and chaplains, please stand. Our Board of Trustees wear the purple ribbons on their name badges, and they are here to guide, shape, and provide oversight to our community operations. And they're the ones who have a lot of the answers that you might be looking for if you want to know more about Spiritual Life Center. So look for that purple badge and go have a chat with them if you have some questions. Our prayer chaplains are here to hold us in confidential prayer during our time of joy and times of challenge, and they wear the white stoles, and they will be in the courtyard to pray with you after the service.
And we love to welcome our newcomers, so in a moment, we will ask those of you here with us to raise your hand. There are many ways to connect at SLC, and you can get more information about small groups, events, and classes by filling out our online welcome card. If you are on site and you raise your hand, you can fill out the card and take it to the welcome table, where you will take it to the welcome table in the courtyard, where you will receive a small gift and a very warm welcome.
So please raise your hand if you're here for the first time and keep it up so that we can find you. We are offering you a purple ribbon, and we ask that you wear this on the left side near your heart so that we can greet you and offer you a heartfelt, warm SLC welcome. Thank you for joining us today on your unique spiritual path. And let us stand now and welcome each other and our newcomers in the way that we are most comfortable. Now you can put it down.
please stay standing. We're going to sing our beautiful song from Richard Burden. Holy God, move in me.
That's right. As Holy God does move in you, let's sing about it together. Holy God, move in me. Holy God, move in me. Holy God, move in me. Clap to that rhythm. That you may know my faith, and I may know your grace. So yeah, Holy God, move in me. Holy presence, live as me. Holy presence, live as me. Holy presence, live as me. Yeah. Holy presence, live as me. Oh, may I be an open vessel, a channel of your dreams. Holy presence, live as me. Holy. I put my faith into action and know you're good in all I see. I'm powerful beyond measure with an awesome God moving through me. Holy God, move in me. Holy God, move in me. Yeah. Holy God, move in me. That you may know my faith, and I may know your grace. Yeah. Holy God, move in me. I put my faith into action and know you're good in all I see. I'm powerful beyond measure with an awesome God moving through me. Oh, oh, oh. Holy God, move in me. Let me see those hands. Come on. Keep that beat going. Holy God, move in me. Oh, oh, oh. That you may know my faith. Know my faith, yeah. I may know your grace. Holy God, move in me. Holy God. Holy God, move in me. Oh, Holy God, move in me. Feel the Spirit within inside you. Feel God move inside you. Sit down.
So as we settle in to our chairs and drop down into those beautiful hearts, we prepare for our meditation by first speaking together our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now we sing this beautiful chant by Karen Drucker that we've been doing all month. We should know it very well by now. One heart at a time.
Join me in singing. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're can change the world one heart at a time. I see you, I know you, you're a part of me. My heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love you. You can change the world. You can change one heart at a time. One heart at a time. You can change the world. You can change the world. One heart at a time. One heart at a time. I see you. I know you. You're a part of me. I can change the world. My heart, one heart at a time. Oh, I can change the world. One heart at a time. One heart at a time. I see you. I know you. You're a part of me. And my heart is open to love. My heart is ready to love you. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change the world. We can change the world one heart at a time. We can change. We can change one heart at a time. Yeah. We can change the
As we move into this time of meditation, let's breathe together. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in the vibration of that beautiful chant. Breathing in the vibration of the thousands of prayers that have been prayed right here. This sacred space where our spiritual community comes together each week in oneness to remember how connected we are. I see you. I know you. You're a part of me. And yes, we can change the world one heart at a time. And it's time. for your heart and my heart, for all hearts to fully awaken to the one heart, God's heart. We're immersed in the heart of God. Feel the warm embrace of your Creator, your God. And bringing your attention to your heart, your beautiful, beautiful heart. Begin breathing through your heart. Breathing in and breathing out. We feel our whole being softening. Our mind, our body, our entire nervous system relaxing, coming into the rhythm of our breath, the rhythm of our beating heart, the rhythm of creation. As our mind and our body relaxes, awareness arises. Resting here in this sweet heart space, immersed in the heart of God, begin to sense this presence that's already here. Always here. You're never alone. This love, this light, this limitless wisdom is always here. In you, in me, and in all of humanity. We're connected through this infinite presence that lives and moves and breathes as each one of us. We are truly one in spirit. Meeting life from presence, we're guided, we're inspired, our life flows. And when the going gets tough, we slow down. We take time for ourselves, and we turn to this presence within us, and we listen. And we listen not just with our ears, but with our entire being. Every cell opening, listening. As we know this presence within us, we know it in all people, even when they don't know it for themselves. Our judgments, our opinions won't awaken a heart that's closed to God. Only love can do that. It's why Jesus told us to love our enemies. It's the awareness that love is the power that heals, that awakens, that transforms our heart and all hearts. As we move into the silence, we open our heart and our mind and our very soul to you, God. Awaken us to all that we are, to all that you are, in the silence. Warmly held in God's heart, we let our heart shine. God loves the world through our open hearts. Presence meeting presence. God meeting God. Here we are, God. Love through us. And so it is. Amen.
Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love. Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
'cause I know,
flow through
I know, I know
flow through
that I believe. So it will be, so it will be.
flow through me.
When I wake up in the morning, so it'll be. When I put on my clothes in the morning, and when I go about my day,
Flow through me.
let me touch somebody. Let me love somebody. Let me help somebody. Spirit flow through me. Oh, oh. Spirit flows through me.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you. Flow through me. Wow. So today, I'm talking about the power of spirit and how that power transforms us. Whoops. Teleprompter issues. Okay. So how that power transforms our lives when we become aware of it and learn to channel it, learn to listen to it, and follow Spirit's call. That's what we're talking about today. But before we get too deeply into this, I want to emphasize that awakening to Spirit is a process. People forget that. They think, oh, I'm going to awaken to Spirit. Oh, I had this awakening today. It's all going to be great. And then, of course, well, stuff happens, right? And it doesn't really matter where you are in the process because there is no failure. There's no better or worse. And in many ways, we are all beginners. And just because someone has been on a spirit necessarily advanced, it just means that they've had more practice. It's why we call it a spiritual practice, you know? Accepting yourself at each point in your travels is the highest honor you can give to yourself. It's also the highest honor you can give to others as you recognize their process. And I have a perfect example. Christine? This cartoon depicts, and this is a cartoon called Bizarro, and this is called The First Day of Zen Garden School. Okay, I can go home now. You know, can we have just a few, I'm sorry, Christine, a little bit more. So, you know, I love the guy making the sand angel. There's the castle, the person in the back looking for the buried treasure. And I also just like the master over there with his hand over. Somehow, I really relate to that because I have days like that, and I expect I always will. Thank you, Christine. And sometimes I am making those sand angels, and sometimes I'm doing the face plant, probably more about myself than anyone else. But that image just says it all. You know, we have a lot to learn, we always will. And we get distracted, but we can also have fun. Because think about it, in between the really being focused, how fun would it be to be laying there making a sand angel? I guess I'm saying, as you know, it's like we tend to put too much pressure on ourselves to become spiritual. So what is spirit and how does it transform us? I recorded a podcast with John Merriman the other day, and we called it, Who is God Anyway? And this is a topic that John wanted to talk about because he had had a personal discovery about God. He's been on a lifelong quest to figure out what God is, what God means. It came from a very, very strict, kind of limiting Christian background, very, very tight. And so he's been out in the world for a while. He's trying to figure it out. And he said he finally decided or realized that God is our potential. God is what and who we can be. So when I heard that potential is another name for God, I thought about how we use spirit as a name for God as well. So, of course, I had to investigate what other people had to say about this. Charles Fillmore says spirit is a name for God, and it says it is synonymous with one mind. He also said that spirit is the breath of life of all creation. And I loved that. The concept of breath as holy is actually a constant in most religions. Spirit is the breath of life. In Latin, spiritus means breath or wind. The Hindus, it's prana, same thing. In fact, prana is one of the three main pillars of Hinduism. The Sikhs, the Maori, the Christians, you name the religion, and you will find that breath is equaling spirit almost everywhere, which of course is equaling God. And many religions, incorporate yoga into their practice. And even though there are body positions and poses and all of that, yoga is really about the breathing. I'm going to try to pronounce a word here, so if I get it wrong, but in Hebrew, ruach is breath or wind or spirit. It's everywhere. Rabbi Arthur Waskow puts it this way: spirituality is what celebrates the interbreathing that connects all of life. And then he uses the example of how we exhale CO2, or carbon dioxide, and trees use that, and then they exhale oxygen. We are interdependent through our breath. And really, we are interdependent on each other, our pets, our world, through our breath, through spirit. And here's another thing to think about. Breathing is not voluntary. As an experiment, I've tried to stop breathing. Now, not to... Not to stop breathing, but to see if I could just simply suspend my breath to see what my body would do. And I can only do it for a very short period of time until my body just takes over and breathes. And I don't fight it. I don't lay there, it's like I can hold my breath for 10 minutes. It's not that. It's that just, what happens if I don't breathe? My body won't let me not breathe. And that is what proved to me that I don't breathe. My body breathes me. We talk about spirit breathing us. Spirit is breathing each one of us, because we're going to breathe no matter what, which is actually pretty cool and convenient, because otherwise we might forget and then, whoops. If breath is spirit, that means that we're never without spirit. As long as we're breathing, we are with spirit. Spirit is with us. We're never separated from spirit or God or whatever it is we call that energy. Yet we still find it necessary to expand our awareness of this magnificent energy that is flowing in and through us. Spirit as breath of life is the unifying factor of all religions and spirituality. And yeah, we take our breath for granted. It's always with us while we're alive. Now, I'm sure that people who have respiratory distress are more aware of the vitalness of breath, but I just wonder how many of us really, on an everyday basis, think of our breath as holy, that every breath I take is spirit. It's when we tune into our spirit or our breath that we become aware of what Charles Fillmore describes as thoughts that evolved independently of reason. In other words, when we go beyond thought, energies and ideas flow into and through us. Think about the power behind all of this breathing. We can't stop it, and it is what it is, so we are always spirit-filled. And think about how powerful your breath really is, how expressive it is, how just a sigh can carry a huge message. Like, what's going on? Nothing? You sighed. I know, I heard you sigh, right? There's a lot of power in that breath. We speak, we sigh, we sing, we cry. Our breath is our spirit, and it is how we express our holy selves in this world. And consider the times that you have been fully aware of the holiness flowing through you. We all have had those moments. They might be tiny. We feel it, we know it, we revel in it, we see it happen. And sometimes it's really big, and sometimes it's quite simple and quiet. For example, last Monday, I recorded a podcast, that I called Celebrate Your Discomfort Zone. And in this podcast, I used a quote I had come across and talked about how much we learn when we stumble. In fact, if we don't stumble, we're not learning as much. And not 2 hours later in the production meeting, we read the Daily Word, and it was exactly the same topic. It even used the word stumble. In fact, it was so close to what that podcast was, I could have used it for the blurb that we put out there. Now, this happens a lot in my life, and you'd think that I would be used to it, but that one just blew me away. I had not looked at the Daily Word that day. I just was in the shower and went, I think I'll talk about this, went and recorded it, and there it was. But the alignment of conscious and unconscious, to me, is astounding. We see it up here on the platform a lot. You might think, we know what the music's going to be. I know what the talk title is what the talk is going to be, and we know, so then, like we're doing meditation, but we all work independently. We just know the basic theme, and we will get up here, and some of the same lines will come out of each one of us. And it's just a wonderful synergy that happens. Okay, so we have an idea of what we mean by spirit. Let's talk about transformation for a moment. Transformation can be a change in composition and structure. It can be a change in the outward appearance, or transformation can be a change of character or condition. Now, I'm guessing that most of us don't step onto a spiritual path thinking our lives will immediately, completely transform. And most of us, really, when we get on a spiritual path, we're looking for ways to support improving our lives. And it's when we get a few spiritual ideas under our belt that we decide we should be making more progress, or we decide that we were doing something wrong because we have not suddenly and immediately transformed our lives into some mythical idea. I call this the road to Damascus syndrome. Saul's conversion was instant and dramatic. He was thrown to the ground, for heaven's sakes. And personally, I would opt for not being thrown to the ground, but that's just me. But keep in mind that Paul still had challenges in life. He just had a different perspective from which he was working. He worked from spirit within him. So how does transformation work? Well, willingness helps. It's like the old joke that asks, excuse me a moment, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb really has to want to change. When you begin your path, you might even say, I don't need to change. I'm okay. My life's okay. But if you are doing that, if you are feeling pulled, called, or attracted to explore a spiritual path, this path that we teach or any other, there is an impulse in you that is calling for the transformation of some sort. And this is where the power of spirit and transformation come together. We know and feel spirit moving in and through us, and transformation is the worldly manifestation of that impulse. As Charles Fillmore again puts it, the breathing of the manifest person corresponds to the inspiration of the spiritual person. That coming into us is inspiration. Isn't that a wonderful word? I am inspiring. I am inspired. Now, you might notice that I'm using Charles Fillmore a lot, and I did some research on different religions and how they talk about breath, and honestly, they're all saying the same thing. I have Charles Fillmore right at my fingertips, and that's why I use his quotes so much. And he studied all of the Eastern religions very deeply and was very open to what spirit brought him. So all of those ideas that we talk about in unity are sprinkled through all of the world religions. But anyway, what this idea of breathing as the manifestation of spiritual inspiration tells us is that, yes, our thoughts and words and actions are vitally important. They are how we manifest our material world. It shows us that our awareness of spirit, God, the force, is not something outside us that we need to call in. There is great energy flowing in and through us at all times, and it is our job to consciously direct that energy. We direct spirit with our words and our thoughts and our actions. Now, it's not as if we're telling God what to do. We are merely directing the pure energy. We're directing spirit. And the reality is we are always directing spirit. It's more a question of if we are consciously or unconsciously directing spirit. When conscious and superconscious blend, that's when you experience the descent of spirit energies. Now, it's happening anyway, but it's when those come together that you know it. You become fully aware of your potential, and you become a conscious co-creator instead of an unconscious, unaware co-creator. Co-creation is not God sitting up in a cloud, weaving that special rug for you while here on earth you're saving money to buy it or moving furniture around to make room for it. That's not co-creating. Co-creating is spirit, holy energy flowing into you. It is inspiration. It is you directing that inspired energy out into the world. And as you practice, you change. It may be big changes. More likely, there are subtle changes. Some changes you may only note after the fact. You might say, oh, I'm realizing I don't really enjoy negative, violent movies anymore. You hadn't really thought about it. You just found yourself realize one day, oh, I'm not doing that. You know, there's a man, when I was in my early or late 20s, and I was in a Unity church, and I was new to it, but this man came up to me, and he thought I knew stuff. And he said, you know, now that I'm doing this, I'm on this spiritual path, I know that I should stop drinking wine, but I really like my nightly glass of wine. And then he talked about some other things he thought he should stop doing, and I don't remember what they were exactly, but it was like he was putting this whole trip on himself. And so I said to him, we don't tell you what to do here. No one's going to ask you to change those habits. But it's not unlikely that as you continue to study and meditate and expand your consciousness, that some of these things will just naturally drop away from you. You may simply lose interest in them, or maybe you'll forget to do them. See, this gentleman was really worried about making external changes. The reality is that there were inner changes already happening for him, and he was starting to feel that impulse, that nudge of spirit to change some outward behaviors. Now, external change is good, but it's not necessarily permanent until those inner changes settle in. And this makes me think, I don't know where this came from, but I got to thinking about these makeover shows on TV, the reality shows. I don't really watch those. Every once in a while I get caught up in one. But, you know, and both women and men will go through one of these programs where they go in and they get their hair cut and they up the wardrobe and they do all of this stuff. And sometimes that person will say that doing that makeover changed their lives. The truth is more likely that they were already feeling spirit move in them and they wanted to affect change in their personal lives. And that impulse and that makeover were that blending of conscious and superconscious, and the makeover became a physical manifestation of that inner change. And I suspect that some people just went right back to their old lives. They just did that thing and went on. But it's still a good example to work from. It's like, oh, I'm making these outward changes. What's inside me what am I expressing? I'm expressing some sort of change. The changes that we encounter as we walk the spiritual path can be fun, they can be interesting, and they can be really challenging. I think of Paul after his conversion, and it's like, I don't think life was any easier for him afterwards. As you move along your spiritual path, your circle of friends might change. I know some people have experienced that here. In fact, the circle of friends usually does change. And sometimes that shift happens rapidly. I know when I first got into Unity when I was like 25, there were some people who really couldn't handle how I was changing. Now, I was not pushing my religion on them. I was not trying to get them to come over to my side. I was just being in the world very differently. And it made them very uncomfortable. They didn't like it. And so we parted ways. More often, it's more gentle than that. Your interests change. You spend a little more time with people who think the way you do or the way you're learning to think. And it's just gradual. And it's all okay because it means that you're changing on the inside. You know, we gradually move away from making sand castles and sand angels and digging for treasure in the sand. And we become less distracted. We find an easier way of being in the world. When we become conscious of spirit, the breath of life, as the indwelling energy and impulse of our very being, and learn to direct that energy, we co-create and transform our personal world. When you transform your personal world, everyone, and I mean everyone you encounter, will pick up something from you that will change them, however minutely, and then they will pass it on. This is what the transforming of power of spirit does. It flows through us, and it changes the world one heart at a time. Faith in Action starts next week, and if you're going to do the reading, it's the parts 1 and 2. I think there's an introduction, parts 1 and 2. And certainly, even if you haven't chosen to be in a group, read the book, play with us anyway. Anyway, Reverend James will be back with You Are the Light of the World. That is the overall theme for these 7 weeks that we'll be doing. And the color for next week is red. We will be going through the 7 colors of the rainbow during Faith in Action. And now we have the opportunity to support Spiritual Life Center. And if you are online and you want to help spread the message and support us, text SLC Love at 44321. And also you can like, comment, share, or subscribe. All of those things will help to continue getting this message out into the world in different ways and in different places. And we really appreciate that. And now let us here in the sanctuary share our offering blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Is gonna change when inside we change and take the journey to the heart. You are my brother, you are my sister, and neither one of us can live apart. We are one in the spirit. We are one in this world. We are one in the spirit.
Everybody, every soul, everywhere we turn.
So as you take yourself to someone else, and all the nations here belong.
Small steps here, millions of feet now can carry everybody to rebirth. We are one in the spirit. We are one in the spirit. We are one in this world. We are one in the spirit. Hey. Everybody, every soul, everywhere we turn. Away, 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 away,
yourself, get back to someone else. All the nations here belong.
Tear down illusion, shore up with the truth, till you and I sing a worldwide song.
We are one in the spirit.
We are one.
We are one in this world. We are one in the spirit.
Every woman, every man, every boy and girl, we are one in the spirit.
We are one.
We are one in this world.
We are one in the spirit.
Everybody, every soul, everywhere we turn. Away, 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 away. Let me hear you, come on. Away, away. It's pretty easy. Away, 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 away.
Away, away.
It's nice to have you with us, John.
It's great to be somewhere.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And as we focus on the giving and the receiving and the circulation, we know that all that has been given to SLC is given in love. It is received in love. And all that we give is given in love as well. And we are so very grateful for all the support that Spiritual Life Centers receives. Thank you, God. And we bless all of the prayers in the prayer box, knowing that when someone is called to pray, the answer is there ready to be received as the consciousness opens up, knowing that the answer, this or something better, is on its way or it is here now. And then we send these prayers to Silent Unity for another 30 days of prayer, knowing that that solidifies and brings into manifestation exactly what the person needs in the highest and best way possible. And we say, thank you, God. And now our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. And now, the peace song.